Welcome, Troy Byer. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Fantastic. It's so good to see you. I know you are a multi-talent actress, writer, director, producer. Who were your heroes? Who inspired you growing up to want to be in the acting arts?
I think Whoopi Goldberg. I thought, I really liked her as a kid. She was actually my babysitter when I was a kid. So
wow.
Just watching her career and watching her doing her stand-up and just her journey was very inspiring to me. So
you have to be fearless. I mean, you just go out there and do what you feel and hope that people appreciate.
Absolutely, and that's what I loved about her. She's authentic, and she did what she wanted to do, and she did it the way she wanted to do it, and I thought that was pretty awesome. So.
And she's still on mainstream television every morning.
She's still relevant.
Amazing stuff. Well, I know your journey's taken you from New York to Idaho to New York back to L.A. Why is L.A. the perfect place to be based for what you do?
I really don't think it is, quite frankly, because what I do, I could live anywhere, but I have a son, and he's here, and his father's here, and it's important to me that I keep him with his father, and his father needs to be here for what he does. So it's a kind of a sacrifice, but one worth making,
Fantastic. Well, tell us about the writing of the book, because I know that's what the film is based on. And the title of the book?
It's called X Free, like sugar free.
Yeah.
And it's 9 Keys to Freedom After Heartbreak.
Yes.
And the book was created because my ex-husband and I, when we got divorced, we just got along so well during our divorce. It was, I call it a divorce-a-mony, right? It was happily divorced ever after. I had people saying to me, well, you should write a book on how to get along with your ex, after divorce. And so I just started paying attention to what was working for us. And then I captured that in a book, and then I turned it into a movie called I Really Hate My Ex. But at the end of the film, you realize it's not that you really hate your ex. It's, you really will always love them, because love and hate is a very fine line. So to exert that level of energy, really underneath that is something else. So, but I couldn't call it I Really Love My Ex, right? It wouldn't sell as well.
Sure. So you basically decided in your relationship that you appreciated each other, you loved each other, you just couldn't live together.
Exactly.
Didn't mean you have to go on a tirade and hit each other and try and ruin each other's lives. You just realized that you were better off existing separately.
Right. It's like having two great people who are just not great together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing, the whole concept of marriage and how it's evolved over the years, and relationships, Back in the day, it was very rigid what a man and a woman should supposed to do. Forget about the same sex. I mean, it was very, very specific, and now it seems there's just so many more open ideas of how people can coexist and love each other and be on this planet, and maybe not somebody else's terms, but what works for them.
Right. Yeah, you can actually co-create your love. You don't have to buy into the stereotypes of marriage anymore.
Yeah.
So it's a pretty interesting time.
Well, talk about the book and the feedback you got from that, the people that not only really appreciated the knowledge, but some of the things you even learned by putting this information out there and getting that feedback.
Well, what I really got to understand about the book and watching the impact it had on other people is that agreements are really important. If there's a broken agreement in a relationship, it's like a broken contract. Nothing's going to work without agreements in place. So that was the biggest thing that I was able to draw out of the whole experience, is the power of agreements.
One's word.
One's word, yeah. And if there's one broken agreement, you can't build other agreements on top of that broken agreement. So from day one, agreements have to be honored and respected. Yeah.
So like anything in life, you have to have a firm foundation before you can really build on it.
That's right. A firm foundation of integrity and honor.
Yeah. If it starts sketchy, it's just piling on top of sketchy, and
absolutely,
it's going to fall anytime.
Yeah, if there's no foundation, the foundation is not solid. I mean, in my own experience, I was in a relationship where the very first agreement was broken, and I watch now in retrospect how I was not able to honor any agreements made after that, because there's no integrity as a basis or a foundation. So it's really important. So that's what I got out of the book, and that's what the movie has a lot to do with agreements. Sure.
So tell us about the evolution of the film. When did you decide that this book needs to be made into a film, and how you adapted it to, you know, a film.
Right. Okay. Well, let's see. My friends that were reading the book and people that were reading the book were having such enormous breakthroughs, and it was having a huge impact on their life. I thought, wow, this is really great. How can I reach the masses? And so obviously, you know, anytime you really want to reach a wide scope of people, you got to figure out, you know, how you get it visually, I think. How do you get it in a visual container so that becomes a film? And so it's 9 Keys to Freedom After Heartbreak. So I took the keys and I've turned those keys into storylines for the characters. So each of the couples in the film are dealing with a particular key in the book. So that's how I turned it into a narrative.
Interesting. And talk about how you casted and really evolved, you know, this concept to a finished piece.
Okay, well, it was definitely a labor of love. It's something I financed myself.
Yes.
And I just sent the script out to my dream cast, and luckily there's only 2 roles that I actually had to audition people for, because I knew who I wanted prior to shooting the film, and I got everyone I wanted. I was really happy.
Great. Yeah. And again, the full title of the film?
It's I Really Hate My Ex.
I Really Hate My Ex.
Not I Hate My Ex, but I Really Hate My Ex.
I Really Hate My Ex. And we're sitting here on the eve of the premiere.
That's right. That's
Fantastic
right.
time.
Yeah.
What does it feel like to give flight to this project that obviously has been years in the making?
Yeah, well, it feels great. It feels like I am in the labor room, and it's, you know, the baby's on its way. It's been a 4-year pregnancy, so I'm really relieved. I'm ready to get the film out there. I'm hoping that it makes a difference for a lot of people, because heartbreak is such a debilitating experience, and no one should have to endure it alone. And I think that this film would make a difference for people suffering from heartbreak, and that was my #1 intention. So I hope that intention is fulfilled on.
We're such vulnerable people, and when we give all our all, we get so enraptured, so, you know, obsessed with a person or a thing, and it doesn't go the way we wanted it to.
Right.
What other tips do you have for people that are, or maybe they're single and they're looking to get into a relationship? What can you tell them?
This is what I know about me. I'm not really great at giving relationship advice, per se. I'm good at supporting people in completing relationships. But I will offer this just personally, is if you're going to get a relationship, make sure it's someone that you have agreements with. You know, you want to make sure that you're a match. You know, because on this sea of love, it becomes very tumultuous, and you want to make sure you're with someone who can weather the storm in the same manner that you do. Some people jump overboard, some people know how to tread water, some people swim. You just want to make sure that you're equally matched with your ship before you have a relationship.
So you really need to feel that you can trust their word and kind of ease into it before you...
Yeah. Yes, I work a lot
all.
with, you know, I work a lot with couples as a psychologist. I do a lot of work with couples. And I say to my clients, you want to make sure that you're with someone whose differences are compatible with your differences. Because it's not the similarities that keep us in a relationship. It's being able to deal with the differences and honor the differences.
Amazing stuff. Well, the process of getting a film out cannot be easy these days.
Right.
I know the evolution of having, like you said, having to prove yourself, go out and finance it yourself,
Yeah.
you know, and show the industry first that you can deliver, even before you have to go out and campaign to get the people, the audience, to take note of what you have. What advice do you have for young creative people, whether they be actors or filmmakers, to, you know, be on such a journey to actually persevere and get a project made these days?
If you have a vision and you have a passion, you have to pursue it like there's no help coming. Like, you just have to go for it, and that's my advice. Be really clear on what it is you want, and just be unstoppable. You know, and you know, I remember Quincy Jones, I heard him say, if they can make you quit, then you should.
Yeah.
When you want something bad enough, nothing makes you quit, ever.
Well, being independent, being your own you know, your own company, so to speak, no one can tell you when it's done. No one can tell you no, because you have that power, you know, from within. And these days there's more and more avenues to get it out. Maybe the big companies have more hurdles or restrictions, but there's more and more ways to get, you know, talent to the people. That's exciting.
Yeah.
What is your greatest joy in seeing that? The kind of evolution of less gatekeepers and more independent kind of entrepreneurial paths to get talent heard and seen.
I think that's really great. I love what's going on right now in the world, because I think that the less you have to depend on other people, the more empowering you can be to yourself, for yourself, and for others. I love that I can go home and put something up on YouTube and be fully self-expressed, and that it's a perfect platform for my creativity and my expression. That's freedom. It's freedom in its most magnificent light. So I think it's fantastic.
No one between you and the audience.
Yeah, exactly. And if you have a message, you know, you'll find your audience. Just be really clear on what your message is.
And where can they find out more online about the film and the book?
You can go to Facebook. IreallyHateMyEx.com is our website, or Facebook. We have our site up. Or you can go to TroyByer.com, TroyByer.com, and all the information's there.
Troy, thank you so much. We're excited and can't wait to see the film and spread the word.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate you.
Thank you for having me.